This is Florida Governor Ron DeSantis. He was a baseball player long before he became one of the most famous governors in America. And he still uses his sports career as a talking point today.
Look, I could hit a fastball, but I faced people that pitched in the big leagues.
There's growing speculation he could run for president. Experts say he's deployed a perfect combination of secret weapons that have managed to attract supporters from all over the country.
You know, people will sometimes refer to me as America's governor.
It seems that Governor DeSantis can sneeze and make headlines.
We combed through hours of footage from his early years to figure out how he got here and what it could mean for the Republican Party. The governor's wife, Casey DeSantis, is considered one of his most important allies.
One of my sources went so far as to call her the co-governor of Florida. I've been told by multiple sources that he listens to her more than he listens to anyone else.
Insider recently broke the news that DeSantis and Casey got married at Disney World back in 2009. The couple has shared only select photos from their wedding day, and the background does seem to match Disney's wedding pavilion, one of the most desired venues overlooking Cinderella's castle. You can even see the 3 stairs in the background here.
And it was surprising because Florida Governor Ron DeSantis went to battle against Disney.
In early 2022, DeSantis signed a bill his critics have called Don't Say Gay, which prohibits teaching about gender and sexuality in kindergarten through 3rd grade classes. Disney's CEO condemned the governor's new law, saying it was harmful to children. DeSantis ended up stripping Disney of its special status that had allowed the corporation to pay lower taxes for more than 5 decades.
This state is governed by the interests of the people of the state of Florida. It is not based on the demands of California corporate executives.
But he never mentioned at the time that he had also gotten married at Disney.
But back to his wife, Casey.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to First Coast Living. I'm Casey DeSantis.
She's been called her husband's secret weapon.
The governor's secret weapon.
Casey really is the secret weapon.
She worked as an anchor and reporter for a Jacksonville TV station and even won an Emmy.
Casey DeSantis, right?
And experts say she's the mastermind behind DeSantis's carefully crafted image.
He was a good guy who loved baseball and grew up and played and worked hard in school.
He's a tremendous husband and a wonderful father.
She interviews a lot of the employees who end up working for him.
Having this kind of insular relationship is probably beneficial to them in terms of avoiding a lot of the gossipy leaks that you might see with other politicians.
And she often appears in his campaign videos.
When I was diagnosed with cancer and I was facing the battle for my life, he was the dad who took care of my children when I couldn't.
And experts say the fact that DeSantis has young kids has helped his image.
It gives voters something that says, you know, here's an executive who's fighting because he's fighting for the future of your children. It would be very similar to what we saw from the Obama family and what we saw from the Kennedy family.
But long before the couple met, Ronald Dion DeSantis grew up in the small conservative community of Dunedin, near Tampa.
I was a blue-collar kid, so I had to work my way through college.
His good grades and baseball skills got him into Yale, where he became the captain of the Bulldogs. And he eventually made his way to Harvard, the school which claims the most US presidents as alumni. DeSantis is still paying for the law degree he got there.
He still isn't very wealthy today. He still has about $21,000 worth of student debt.
The movie A Few Good Men was one of his inspirations to join the Navy while he was still a student.
That movie stars Tom Cruise, who plays a Navy attorney who defends Marines accused of a deadly assault at the Guantanamo Bay Naval Base.
I want to slam dunk this guy.
Just like Tom Cruise's character, DeSantis also worked at Guantanamo Bay as a Navy attorney in 2006, after graduating a year earlier. And he's still drawing inspiration from Tom Cruise in his new campaign ad.
Number 1,
don't fire unless fired upon, but when they fire, you fire back with overwhelming force.
Back in 2007, DeSantis deployed to Iraq as an advisor to SEAL Team 1.
His job was to ensure that the military was complying with the law.
And he drew on that experience a lot 5 years later.
Well, I'm not a politician. I'm an Iraq veteran, a former prosecutor, Navy Reserve officer, but I've never sought or held elective office before.
In 2012, DeSantis was running for a congressional seat in Florida's 6th district, one of the most conservative at the time.
I'm not a politician. I want to do things in Washington. I don't want to be somebody.
Many say DeSantis made himself by copying Trump.
All right, well, Ron is being donned.
But we found several instances of DeSantis over the years sounding a lot like Trump.
We have to save America.
Long before the former president's political rise.
We need to save our country.
That was a little bit of the media trying to create stories.
I don't care what offense it is. You touch a child, you're here illegally, you're gone.
DeSantis talked about shaking up the Republican Party since 2013.
We're viewed, Republicans, as the party of the rich. I don't think there's any reason why we should do that. We shouldn't want banks or big corporations getting special deals.
But while in Congress, experts say DeSantis wasn't particularly social.
He really wasn't one of those politicians that would stay out late at night, backslapping, going to happy hours. And so to a lot of people, that came across as being pretty aloof. Apparently, he would also stick his earphones in to avoid talking to people in the hallways.
And when DeSantis ran for Florida governor in 2018, Trump gave him a massive boost.
My great friend, a tough, brilliant cookie. And he's going to be your next governor, Ron DeSantis.
DeSantis really stepped into the national spotlight during the pandemic.
You do not have to wear those masks. I mean, please take them off.
When he took a conservative approach to COVID-19 policies.
Politicians want to force you to cover your face as a way for them to cover their own asses. That's just the truth.
He bought vaccine mandates. He banned mask mandates in schools.
They want to protect kids, Governor. What do you want?
Despite his critics, he reopened Florida schools early.
If you're trying to deny kids a proper in-person education, I'm going to stand in your way.
One of the things I hear a lot from even Floridians who are Democrats is that they do give him credit for keeping schools open. They think that that was the right call.
And DeSantis grew more conservative and more vocal throughout his term.
The left does not want to honor our freedoms, and we have a responsibility to fight back on all fronts. Florida is the state, is the place where woke goes to die.
DeSantis also signed one of the strictest abortion bans in the country, leaving no exceptions for cases of rape or incest. And earlier this year, he formed an election police force to oversee voting. Despite the controversies, rumors that he could run grew, and there was buzz even at Trump rallies.
Number one thing I like about DeSantis is that he believes in freedom for America.
The governor has already piqued the interest of one of the most followed men online. Elon Musk recently tweeted that he'd likely support DeSantis if he ran for president. The DeSantis campaign has raised more money than any governor in American history.
Do many who are donating to DeSantis for his re-election bid in Florida know that they may actually be donating to DeSantis' 2024 presidential campaign?
Absolutely. The amount of interest in Ron DeSantis is off the charts, and I think that the momentum trend is clear.
He knows how to grab headlines every single day in a way that other politicians don't seem to yet have grasped. He knows how to go from one week to the next and change the topic. That's how you stay relevant, right?
And now an update from the strange parallel universe of Governor Ron DeSantis' Florida. Was Florida Governor Ron DeSantis this week?
Florida's Governor Ron DeSantis.
Florida Governor Ron DeSantis.
Are you glad to live in the free state of Florida?
Of course, the big question is, will he also be able to navigate a 2024 Republican primary if he chooses to run for president?
And while the governor hasn't said whether or not he plans to run, he dodged the question from his rival during a debate.
Why don't you look in the eyes of the people of the state of Florida and say to them, if you're reelected, you will serve a full 4-year term as governor, yes or no?
Yes or no, Ron?
I think we'll have to watch and find out.